In this lesson, we're going to look at one of my favorite types of division, which is called friendly division and sometimes called ladder division. I've actually even seen it called partial quotient division by different philosophies of thought. We're going to start with this first example, 924 divided by 6. And you can see I have set this up in the traditional way with the dividend underneath the house, 924. My divisor is knocking on the door. My divisor is 6, and then space up above for my quotient. However, there is one important piece that I must add before I can begin, and that's this long stick or pole over here to the side. I'm going to do that because this area over here is where I will be writing my partial quotients to add up at the end. Now, I have a divisor of 6. That means I need to think about friendly numbers for 6. Okay, so there are my friendly numbers, friendly for 6. And I've only used the ones with 1 0 because I have a 3-digit dividend, so I don't need anything larger than that. Now, let me show you the magic of how this works. So I'm looking at my dividend, and I see that it's 924. What I want to do is look down my list of friendly numbers and find the largest friendly number that I can find that does not go over 924. You can't go over the dividend. You have to get the largest one that's closest to it, kind of like on The Price is Right. So I see that 600 is the largest friendly number that I have listed on my list for 6, and so I'm going to use 600. And I'm going to write that 600 right underneath the 924. And I'm going to subtract it. Okay? Now, what I need to think about is, what did I multiply this 6 by to get 600? 6 times blank equals 600, or 600 divided by 6 equals blank. Well, I know that 100 times 6 equals 600. 100 times 6 equals 600. So I have to write 100 over here. It is one of my partial products. I'm sorry, not a product, a quotient, partial quotient, because I'm doing division. Okay, so now I can subtract. And 924 minus 600 is 324. Okay, so I repeat this process. Now I need to go look at my friendly for 6 numbers and find the greatest friendly number that does not go over 324. This is my new dividend. So I look and I see that I've got 240, that could work, but I could get bigger than that. 300 is pretty good. 360, oh, too big, can't go there. So I'm going to go with 300. So I write my 300. Oh, that looks terrible. Let me write that more clearly so you can see it. I write my 300 underneath my 324, and then I think to myself, what number do I have to multiply 6 by to get 300? Or what is 300 divided by 6? Well, if I don't look at this 0 here on the end, I see 30 divided by 6. You see how there's a 30 in the friendly number here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 times 6 is 30. So 50 times 6 is 300. So I record that 50 over to the side in the partial quotients area. It is so super important that you remember to record these partial quotients in order to get the correct answer. So anytime you have a minus sign here, you should have a partial quotient out to the side. Now I'm ready to subtract. 3 minus 3 is 0, so I'm left with 24. My new divisor now is 24. So I look back to my friendly numbers, and what do I notice? Here in the pink, 24 is friendly for 6. And if I count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 times 4 is 24. So I can subtract 24, because it is a friendly number. Out to the side, I know that 6 times 4 equals 24. And then when I subtract, I'm left with a 0. So that means there is no remainder. And no remainder means there are none left over, nothing left. It's evenly divisible. So now I take my partial products over here to the side, 150 and 4. I add those together, and I get a final quotient of 154, which I can then check, as I must, using multiplication. So I start with the quotient, 154, multiply it by my divisor, 6, and I should get my dividend that I started with. 6 times 4 is 24. 2 goes up, 4 goes down. 6 times 5 is 30, plus 2 is 32. 3 goes up, 2 goes down. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 3 is 9. 924, 924. My answer must be correct. Now I need to take my quotient and record it up on the rooftop. I need to line up my place value between my quotient and my dividend. So, in the ones place I have a 4. That's going to go over the ones place of the dividend. 5 is in the tens place. That goes over the tens place here. 1 is in the hundreds place. It goes over the hundreds place here. So my final answer for 924 divided by 6 is 154. Now you're looking at this problem and thinking, Miss Scott, this is the same problem we just worked. But I want to show you on this slide the magic of the friendly division and why it's called friendly division. So if you'll just hold on one second, I'll get our friendly numbers for 6 listed back up here. Okay, I have my list of friendly numbers, friendly for 6. And I'm going to show you that you don't always have to go with the largest number. Remember on the last example, we did the Price is Right. We went the largest number we could get to without going over the dividend. Well, this time I'm just going to choose numbers that I feel comfortable with. So I noticed that 924 has a 20 in it, and I see 120 also has a 20 in it. So I'm just going to use 120 here to subtract. Well, I know 6 times 2 is 12, and so 6 times 20 would have to be 120. So I write that to the side in my partial quotients. Then I go ahead and subtract. And I'm left with 804. So then I look down the list and I go, you know, I really like 420. I think I'll use it. So I subtract 420 as a friendly number. And I have to think to myself, what is 420 divided by 6? Well, 42 divided by 6 is 7. And then the 0 just gets transferred over, so that's 70. Then I can subtract. I do have to make a trade here. 10 minus 2 is 8. 7 minus 4 is 3. Now I'm left with 384. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. You know, I think I'll get rid of 300. Let me subtract 300. Okay, so I know that 30 divided by 6 is 5, plus the other 0 makes 50. And then I can subtract 4, 8, 3 minus 3 is 0. So now I'm left with 84. I'm just going to keep taking away some friendly numbers from 6 until I get down to 0. Let's see. Next I'll do 60. That's a big chunk. Plus it's an easy one because I know 6 times 10 is 60. Write my partial quotient out there. Subtract. I'm left with 24. I do know that 24 is friendly for 6. And that 6 times 4 is 24. And then that would leave me with 0. When I get down to a number that is less than 6, when it's less than the divisor down here, I know that I'm done. If I have more than 6, I'm not done. But if I have less than 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, down here, I'm finished. Now to add all of my partial quotients together. I think I'm going to rewrite them because I wasn't so neat at lining them up. And it just takes a second to redo that. So 20, 70, 50, 10, and 4. 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 4 is 4. 2 plus 7 is 9. Plus 1 more is 10. Plus 5 more is 15. And I get 154. I can check my work. 154 times 6. 6 times 4 is 24. 2 goes up, 4 goes down. 6 times 5 is 30. Plus 2 is 32. 3 goes up, 2 goes down. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 3 is 9. 924. 924. I must be correct. Now all I need to do is record my quotient up in the quotient space, keeping my place value correct. So you see how it's so friendly, because it doesn't matter which friendly numbers you use, you will eventually arrive at the same quotient. So this lesson has been an introduction to friendly division or ladder division using 3-digit dividends.